So you have reached out to me to get my thoughts on whether you should start a restaurant or you should start a digital agency or a digital agency as you put it. And I'm going to give you my honest opinion. And at the end of the conversation, it is you to make that choice, where you want to invest your time and invest your money. You already know that I own my own restaurant before. And you also know that I'm working on my digital marketing agency. So I think I have one or two things, that I could share with you to help you in your decision making. So when me and my wife made a choice to start a restaurant, we knew that type of business is evergreen, if I could say, because everyday people do eat food. So, and especially the working class, sometimes they don't have. Yes, you could find a few people that would take maybe lunches to work, but there are people that, working class where they have to get out early in the morning. So when it comes to lunch and even dinner, because I remember, people used to call me when they are leaving their workplace, they call at the restaurant to make some orders. They can just pass through, pick it, and then proceed to their homes. So yes, there are people that we used to provide meals at their workplace. Anyways, so me and my wife made the choice to open a restaurant because we knew there's a market for it. And but many times, yes, we have the vision and we see what we want to achieve, but there are details before you achieve that one thing that you're thinking about. There are details that you have to first deal with, and I'm going to tell you these. When we were starting the restaurant, there were two. I could call them. It was a big mall that had two spaces. One was bigger than the other. And when I was having a conversation with my wife said the smaller one will be better because of the rent and of course the bills, because you wouldn't be consuming more gas or especially electricity and all of that. Anyways, but my friends, and one of them was the chef that I was planning to employ, said, what, the bigger space is right in the corner. Like every direction that you come through, you will see our restaurant. So before people go to the other restaurants, they will come to ours first because it's right in the corner. So I was in that decision, like, what to go with, because, one of them was an architect, that's my friend, an architect who was going to design the interior. And the other one was the head chef who was going to craft the menu and all of that. So, and this is something that, it is good to learn from our mistakes. And I was sight blinded, to what my wife was telling me, to what my friends were telling me. At the end of the day, I ended up taking the bigger space because, it's right in the corner. Yes, it had that influence of people coming to us first before they go to the other restaurants. But it had its impact along the way, months ahead. So I know right now you're planning you're held between two choices: opening a restaurant business or starting a digital agency company. it is a restaurant business it is a lot of capital that you have to employ to even start. From the space itself, of course, you have to look for a good location where you have enough traffic in terms of food traffic, because it wouldn't make sense to open a beautiful restaurant, then you have to do a lot of work to make people know that you exist. If you put it in the right location, so you cut out a lot of work. Anyways, so you have to get the right location, the right space in the right location, and it comes with money to get a right location. Another one is it is a lot of money, when you're starting, especially buying equipment. The equipment for restaurant, it is a good change of money. It's a good amount of money that you're going to invest if you do choose to go for the restaurant route. So there's a lot of money that you're going to have to invest, even just to start. You have to design the space, that is money. You have to get the furniture depending on the concept that you want to do. I don't know if it is fine dining or casual dining or fast food concept. I don't know which one you would want to do. But any of those, you will still need equipment. I'm talking about the burners, the ovens, all the equipment that you utilize in the kitchen. Even the extractor, that is a lot of money. And I'm not saying this to discourage you, but I'm saying this you to know, what you'll be involved in if you do choose to go with the restaurant. Another thing is, since you're not a chef, you're going to have to employ chefs. And let me tell you, these days, it is not even easy to get good chefs. So you're going to depend a lot on other people to help you run the restaurant, because you're not a chef yourself. And I'll tell you what impact it did to me not being a chef myself, what it did to me, to my business, months ahead after, employing chefs and what happened. And also, you're going to put on a lot of hats. You're going to be the human resource, employing people, advertising jobs, sieving through all the applications you get, interviewing people. Then you're going to do the training, and also to be able to be competitive, because where we were, also there were another competitor that was already known because he's a sportsman. So for us, we had to work double in terms of being early enough to our restaurant, making sure that things work out, and making sure that I'm there. The other sports person who owned the other restaurant, yes, he has a big name, but he was not present. So I use my different tactics to be able to lure more customers into our restaurant. These are things I'm telling you that you may have them in your mind when you're starting your restaurant or running a restaurant business. So you'll be the one filing taxes. You'll be the one coordinating all the supplies. So you have to get the right suppliers who provide supplies for the restaurant. Restaurant business is a tough business, and you may not expect any profits for at least minimum 2 years, to really see that there's something tangible that is happening. So you'll have to have some buffer in the bank to be able to put more money in there, to continue this thing, to continue your operations. I'm not telling you these things to discourage you, but I'm telling you the things that you may weigh your options before you start, before you invest your hard-earned money into the restaurant business. If you would ask my honest opinion, and I don't want to be biased, but I would not advise you to start a restaurant business. It is a lot of work. I'll tell you. Since I was not a chef myself, and I had people that came in, chefs that have to craft the menu. Of course, I was involved in crafting that menu, but most of them, they hold these recipes close to their hearts because they think maybe they're going to lose their job, so they have to hold it close to them so that they are irreplaceable. And every single time I was telling them, guys, come up with a recipe book because we want to replicate the same concept in other locations. But I saw the hesitation in the main chef sitting down and crafting this. And I'll tell you, as time went by, this person, because they know it all, and they're kind of irreplaceable. There are some days they just call in and they can't make it. So you're in this kind of struggle of what do you have to do in that moment. Of course, yes, you have the other cooks and other chefs that are working, so they have to take up the slack, and but it would have been easier if there's a recipe book that people follow, the A to the Z. That's where restaurant business is tough. KFC or Domino or any other restaurant, or the Golden Fish and Chips restaurant in Las Vegas, those restaurants that are able to replicate the same, someone who goes to Las Vegas, who eats fish and chips from Gordon Ramsay's restaurant, can eat the same thing when they go to Orlando, Florida, or wherever. It's the same taste. You need to have those systems in place. And I'm saying this that you may know the work ahead of you. You have to have these systems in place, the recipe in place, how you do things, like in opening the restaurant, what needs to be done. In closing the restaurant, what needs to be done, who does what. It is a lot of work. Besides the money, there's a lot of work that you have to put in to make the restaurant successful. You understand? So, if you're not a chef yourself, and you can't divide yourself between two, because for me, I run the show, in between locations, in between the back of the house and front of the house. Front of the house, make sure that the customers get the best experience they can. And to tell you the truth, many customers, they were happy with our service, because I am there. I make sure that I interact with the customers. I ask them, how they are, and the experience they've got. Make sure that things run well front of the house. If you have to make a choice. If you're a chef, then you're going to be more to run the show, to make sure that the food comes out good and tasty and stuff. But again, you have to have a stronger person again at the front of the house. So you have to weigh the choices, that you have when you're starting a restaurant. If you're a chef, there's an advantage to it. If you learn how to cook, whatever concept you want to come up with, and hence the menu. If you decide to learn that menu, it could be an advantage for you because you don't depend on people who call in sick, who have bad attitude and all that kind of thing. So you're able to run the kitchen, but you have to employ a good person to run the show in front of the house, who represents you in the front of the house. And doesn't mean that you being a chef, you need to train other people actually to be able to also to interact with customers. You can't just leave this front manager or general manager in front of the house, restaurant manager, to run the show, and you're just in the back. You're the owner of the restaurant, so you have to be able to juggle this responsibility. And when it comes to filing taxes, you have to know the process of filing taxes, because if not, you run into the problem, the tax man coming after you. So it is a lot of work when you open your own restaurant, and don't expect to get results in terms of profit, right away. It is going to be months or even years before you really see that your investment that you put in equipment, in the space, and all of that starts paying off. On the other hand, you asked about a digital agency. Digital agency, you don't need to invest that sums of money. You can have the laptop, a normal laptop. What you need is to learn the skills. And these days, you can learn, if you want to run ads on Facebook, you can easily go on Meta Suite and you learn how to do Facebook ads, right? And the same applies to Google. If you want to know how to run ads on YouTube, you can also learn it. So these are skills that you yourself can learn. So the initial investment is so little, but yet, if you, of course, initially you may have, and I would advise you offer free services to businesses. You can help them run ads and of course show results. People or business owners are interested in results. How much traffic are you driving to their store or to their website, right? And you have to have those metrics to be able to show them that your work that you're putting in is driving traffic to their website, and hence resulting into sales. So you can offer, and in the beginning, offer free services to them. As time goes by, they will see that, you know what, you are doing a good job, and they can now start paying you. Of course, you also show them the work that you're putting in, hence your pay, right? And the same people that you're working with, they will be able to recommend you to other business owners. So your agents slowly but surely starts growing and started just with you. I would advise, when you start getting more work, the next person that you could employ before maybe giving work to freelancers, if you decide to give free, instead of employing people and paying them salaries, you can go for freelancing, get people that have those skills in SEOs or who know how to run ads and all that kind of thing. But the next person that you could employ as you grow is your personal assistant. So you pass on, you delegate some of the work to that person, you understand. And I was watching one of the podcasts of Ali, what is his name now? Ali is one of the famous YouTubers. He has a podcast, Deep Dive with Ali. And one of the hosts has this marketing agency. And it says that if your agency is bringing in annual revenue, is bringing around, is it $300 or $500,000, you can easily sell your agents. People are looking to buy marketing agencies, so you can easily sell your agents between 1 to 3 million. If your revenue is between that 300,000 to 500,000 a year, you can easily cash out, and get $1 million to 3 million for your agency. So there's money to get, but of course there's work also to be done, in those initial years of scaling, your scaling your agency. And also he said, if your agency is bringing in maybe 1 to 3 million, there are people that can pay you 50 to 100 million for your agency. So there's money in starting a marketing agency, a digital marketing agency. And the initial investment is so little. You can continue working for someone, right? And in your free time, when you come from work, the days that you're off, you can learn the skill, of how to run ads, and how to optimize them and all of that. And those are skills that you are gaining. So your initial investment is not massive compared to starting a restaurant. A restaurant, you have to be present. That means you'll have to leave your secure job that you have right now and pay attention to that restaurant, to be able to see results. If not, it will fail. So I don't want to sound biased, but I think, and the choice is yours actually, but I think starting a marketing agency, it is better off than starting a restaurant. I would not, I would say this, I would not advise you to start a restaurant business because there's a lot of work And sometimes it is better to learn from people that have already done it. The pitfalls that we've gone through, that you may not do them, And there are many people also we've learned from, many, as we go by, we learn from other people that we may not fall in the same pit. So ultimately, the choice is yours. The decision whether to start a restaurant business or a digital marketing agency, the choice is yours, because it is your hard-earned money that you want to employ. I hope you understand, where I'm coming from, and it is a choice that you have to make.